Hello everyone. Today I will be talking about why people do not communicate well anymore and why we should go back to communicating properly and healthy. Doesn't it make you feel bad when you want to say something but feel like you can't, even though you can, that you are nervous to say it even though you can say it? It is becoming very hard to communicate with other people these days. My generation has been taught to not speak their mind and to follow the rules quietly. I believe this has traumatized us into bad communication. I have done my research and I will be citing my resources for you guys within the speech and at the end of the speech. The goal of this speech is to help people get back to communicating with others. In this speech, I am going to explain the existing problem of lack of communication as well as ways to overcome it. Now let's start with the problem at hand, lack of communication. According to the page Explore Psychology, lack of communication is when people fail to interact and express themselves in ways that foster healthy connections and relationships. This can take a toll on trust and intimacy in relationships. Lack of communication may stem from people's upbringing, past relationship, experiences, potentially personality differences, and poor communication skills. If people grow up in a house with a lack of communication or dysfunctional communication, they are more likely to repeat those same patterns in their own relationships as adults. So it's no wonder why most people have problems in communication. But of course, we have solutions to this problem. Solutions to lack of communication. According to Professional Development Harvard DCE, there are 8 ways to improve your communication. 1. To be clear and conscious. 2. To prepare what you're gonna say before you say it, so you feel comfortable and to make sure that it is appropriate to say. 3. Be careful when using nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is used worldwide with the plainest example of texting people, but it is not enough to maintain healthy relationships with others. 4. You have to watch your tone. Some people do not pay attention to this particular step, and it is sad that most people don't understand how crucial it is for maintaining a healthy relationship with others. Practice activity listening. When you practice activity listening, you improve your listening skills. And when you improve your listening skills, you are able to pass it over to the person you're talking to. It is easier to make them understand that you are with them in this conversation and you're paying attention. 6. Build your emotional intelligence. When you build your emotional intelligence, it is easier to communicate your topic properly, and it is also easier to understand what the other person is saying. 7. Develop a workplace communication strategy. When you develop a communication strategy at work or in any other social group, it is easier with a strategy to maintain a healthy communication with others with boundaries. 8. Create a positive organizational culture. When you create a positive organizational culture, it is easier to relate to people and to understand them more. According to Psychology Today, you must first seek to listen to the other person. You need to ask clarifying questions in a compassionate and understanding manner. You then reframe to the other person ideas and concerns in your own words to affirm them that you understand what they just said correctly. Express to them that you are trying to understand their point of view and ask for help if you don't. Now to illustrate what has been said. According to VHV.RS, 62% of employees dislike their jobs due to communication issues. This is not a very good thing because communication in jobs is very dire for the job to be successful. And to do your job correctly, you have to communicate with others so that everyone can do their job well. And according to visual speech coach, 93% of people like nonverbal communication. Now, nonverbal communication, as I said earlier in the speech, is okay. A lot of people like nonverbal communication, but it is not the best way to communicate with people because it is not the healthy way to communicate with people. Communicating with people has to include all the properties in it, which are body languages and eye contact and all these things, and all of this is important to communication and to building healthy relationships. And of course, communication is a key part of our lives, and it is very important to us humans to maintain good and healthy environments to manage healthy communication. I hope everyone can benefit from this speech, that we could go back to communicating better. In this speech, I first explained the lack of communication we have, then gave some advice on how to overcome this. The point of the speech was to help people overcome their communication issues and to convince people to go back to communicating properly. My resources are first, lack of communication, signs, examples, and what to do by Explore Psychology. Second, 8 ways you can improve your communication skills by Professional Development, Harvard DCE. Third, how to communicate effectively by Psychology Today. Fourth, statistics by VSV.RS. Fifth, statistics by Visual Speech Coach. Thank you so much for listening to my speech.